Hello, my name is Sebastian Novas. I'm an acupuncturist at Cinco Elementos Acupuncture Clinic in Montevideo, Uruguay. And today I want to tell you really briefly about an amazing diet tip that I teach all of my patients. It's not very well known, although it is getting slightly more popular, which is great. But it's very well researched, which is really great. So this diet tip you can use regardless of whatever diet you're on, whether you're vegetarian or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to do exactly with what you eat so much as it has to do with how you're eating your food. So what I'm talking about is slow and mindful eating. So that's the tip. The tip is to eat your food slow and mindfully. So most people think when I tell them, when I teach this to them, they're like, okay, slow eating, that's great. But really, it's actually extremely profound. And, you know, a lot of ancient traditions, such as traditional Chinese medicine, which is what I practice, but also traditional Indian medicine, also known as Ayurveda, and other cultures around the world have known about this and have talked about this for a long time. And modern science has been looking into it recently, and there's been a number of great studies that have come out that have really shown statistically and in terms of biologically why it's good for us. So really quick, what is slow and mindful eating? So slow and mindful eating basically is exactly what it sounds like. It just means slowing down when you're eating your food, chewing your food, taking time to chew it and enjoy it, and just really be in the moment. So that's what mindfulness is really all about. I'm sure you've heard of mindfulness. If you haven't, mindfulness is basically about just centering yourself and being in the present moment instead of just being in our heads and thinking about the past, the past or the future, and just really being in the present moment. So when it comes to food, most of us are just so used to eating on the run or eating eating while we work, eating while we watch TV, just eating in a very distracted way. A lot of times we barely even take the time to savor our food, let alone chew it thoroughly. So really, slow and mindful eating is about just taking that time and slowing down the time it takes for you to finish your meal and just really taking the time to enjoy it. Really quick, what are some of the benefits of it? Well, like I said, there's many benefits, particularly if you're looking to lose weight or if you have some digestive issues. Slow eating is great for you. Number one, because you take the time to really chew your food and mix it with your saliva and break it down in your mouth before you send it into your stomach, it makes your stomach's job that much easier to do, which in turn makes your intestines' job much easier to do. So all in all, it just makes your digestive process more effective. So if you suffer from any sort of bloating or indigestion, irritable bowel syndrome, even constipation somewhat, and slow eating is really going to impact that in a positive way. So it's going to make you feel better overall. You're also going to look better in terms of just that bloating nature. And if you're trying to lose weight, this can be a hidden trick to make it so no matter what you eat, so even if you're having like a cheat meal, it's your cheat day or whatever, if you eat slowly, you're better off. Why? Because statistically, if you take more time to eat your meal, you're more likely to eat less. So you'll intake less calories. Why is that? I mean, you may or may not eat less, but statistically, what happens is that, let's say you have a big meal in front of you. If you're super hungry and you just scarf it down, maybe you just, put down 1,200 calories in one meal. But if you take your time to eat the meal, then you're going to find that probably around the point where you're 80%, 70-80% done with the food on your plate, your stomach's actually going to signal your brain that it's full, that you're done, that you don't want any more food. And why is this? This is because it typically takes around 20 minutes or so for the stomach to really communicate to the brain, like, hey, I've had enough. I don't need any more. We're good. And most people will stop eating after that point. Now, you could continue eating, you know, if you just really enjoying the food and you just keep wanting to put it down. There's nothing wrong, particularly with that, if that's your choice. I mean, it's not going to favor weight loss, and it's not going to favor, you know, proper digestion, because if you overload the stomach, you know, it may cause some indigestion. But all in all, these are just some of the benefits to slow eating. Also, it's really good if you are trying to lose weight, you're trying to diet, and you find yourself sort of unable to, for some reason, like you just having a lot of cheat meals. Well, even if you eat your cheat meals slowly, it gives you more time for the brain to kick in and be like, hey, I don't really want to do this. So maybe you take a bite or two of, you know, let's say a piece of chocolate cake or something like this, and you savor it. That's another hugely important part. You really savor it, you enjoy it, and you're like, okay, I took 2 bites, you know, I'm actually good. This was enough cheat for me, and I'm gonna put the rest of the cake down. I can just eat it some other, like later on in the day or later on in the week, you know? So you won't scarf it down because you're like, oh no, I need to eat this right now before my guilt kicks in, you know what I mean? So it's really good at disrupting patterns that derail your progress. It's really great. Actually, I've used this. I use this all the time. I don't always eat slowly. I do my best to. It can be a little bit more difficult at first because we're so used to eating really quickly, especially if we're really hungry, or if we're going out to eat, or if we're eating watching TV. So eating while you watch TV, or while you're on your phone, or while you're working, sort of distracted, is one of the ways that is one of the most difficult patterns to break in order to really get the slow eating habit. So just a few quick tips on how to eat slowly. So when you eat, you want to do something with your hands. So for example, let's say you're eating at the dinner table and you know, put a bite of food in your mouth. So one thing that you can do to make sure that you eat slow is to put the utensils down. So just put the utensils down, chew your food, savor it, and then when you swallow it, then you can pick your utensils up and put some more food in your mouth. A lot of us just kind of keep putting food in our mouth. No, that's one good way. So just put the utensils down. Another thing is you can do something else. What I like to do personally, my favorite one, is to you know, put some food in my mouth, chew it, savor it, and before putting the next bite in, I just take a deep breath. So I just take a deep breath and relax, and then I put more food in my mouth. So this, you know, that's a really great one. I find it also just kind of the breathing helps relax you, which is really great for digestion, because you need to not be stressed in order to properly digest. When we're stressed, we go into a fight or flight mechanism, and that sort of shuts our digestion off. So even if it's just really sort of light stress, it's still going to impact your digestion somewhat. So if you're really relaxed, you're much better off in terms of how well you digest your food. So another trick is to eat foods that take more time to be chewed. So this means getting more fiber, more fibrous foods like vegetables or legumes. You know, even meat is fibrous, but you just want to, you know, have foods that really need to be chewed, and then make sure you take the time to chew it. Another one is you can take a sip of water between bites of food. Or if you're with someone, let's say you're eating with your friends or your family, you've gone out to lunch or something like this with a buddy or your girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, between food, just take time to ask them a question, you know, and don't talk with your mouth full, obviously. So I really think probably the most important part, or one of the greatest benefits, is really the mindfulness aspect of savoring your food, because so many times we don't even really enjoy the food, especially if it's something that we feel a little guilty about eating. For most people, it's desserts or sweets or snacks, this kind of thing. We just kind of scarf it down really quick because it's like, oh, hey, I feel really bad about eating this. I shouldn't eat it, especially if you're trying to lose weight. And you just scarf it down. You barely even savor it. And then what's the point of that, honestly? I mean, if you're going to eat it, take the time and enjoy it. It's going to change your relationship with food in general. It's going to make you feel way better about what you eat, and you're going to digest it even better. So all in all, it's going to impact you positively. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And I really hope you take the time to try it out. Just try it out for yourself. See if you like it. See if it works for you. Um, I promise, if you're trying to lose weight, you will lose some even more. You will intake even less calories if you eat slow and really take the time to sort of feel out and learn what feeling hungry and what feeling full feels like. This is going to really change your life, and it's a great eating habit to have. And it's not as difficult, really, as all these diets make it out to be. What should you eat? When should you eat it? How much of each nutrient should you get in? I mean, all that is great and it's important too, but it can be really complicated or complex and confusing for a lot of people. And this eating slowly is just one surefire hack that you can do no matter what you eat, and it's going to have a positive impact on your diet, your health, and your life in general. So yes, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and just have a great time.